Good morning, and it's a beautiful day. Let's go to the beach. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do some mixed media, and what I want to do is make a beach scene, and then I'm going to use some of the texture paste. It's a translucent gloss texture paste, and I want to use that on my waves. So let's get to it. I'm going to spray my photo paper with a little bit of alcohol. Then I'm going to take a little of the blue, and this is Glacier. And I want it to be a smooth background, so what am I doing? I'm keeping it very juicy and just playing. This is the fun stuff, isn't it? Just playing around, scribbling around, keeping my dark at the top. This is all I think about, is the dark at the top and one side lighter than the other. And then I'll let it float down. And this is how you get those nice smooth backgrounds. Do some more and get my ocean in. And again, this is all juicy and with alcohol, so I'm not really worried about it. Pick it up again and let it float a little more so I don't get blue spots in my sky. I want it to look like clouds. Be patient. Really works nice. Let it run down, then pull it out the side. Sometimes I like to wiggle it. That looks pretty nice. I like the whole feel. Feels like the beach. Okay, so at this point I am going to dry it with the Ranger heat gun. It's a good way to get things done quickly. So now I'm going to start working on the beach a little bit, and as it comes forward, it will have more texture. So I want a few more waves here. Everywhere it's white, I'm going to have waves. See how it breaks with the alcohol? It's just a little bit of alcohol and a little bit of the glacier color. Because when it laps up on the sand, it'll be darker. So let's put some darker waves closer. Do you see how the background melts further back? I like that. This one's a little darker, but there's less ink on my brush now, so I can get a little more idea of the feeling of the waves. Look at that big crashing wave right there. That's beautiful. Have them come down. Sometimes they come up and down again, but at the further back they go, the less texture you need. Now, just for fun, because you know me, I like fun, let's put a few birds in here. And all they are is V's in different directions. You can have as many as you want. Just make them different sizes. Wipe out your brush so it's not too juicy. You can come back and fix anything, make some lighter, some darker. I'd like some more birds, because there's not going to be a lot going on in here. It's just going to be the birds. I don't know why, but I just love birds. Sometimes their wings are down, so do a V upside down. Just give them a little tail. So you just throw a couple more birds in here, and you can almost hear the crashing of the waves. Okay, so I don't like this bird, and I'm all floated. So what do? Float a little more. And make a cloud. That's what I do. If I have a problem, I make a cloud. All I'm doing is tapping alcohol and blotting it. But they should come in a direction and have a dark side. Since the light's here, this will be my dark side right there. So all I do is put a few drops of alcohol on here and blot. There's my light side. No muss, no fuss, right? If you have a problem, what do? We turn it into something else, right? All right, that looks kind of cute. And we'll just kind of soften it out. You know, some clouds are dark, so don't be afraid. And just soften it out. All right, that looks good. That's better than that messy bird I put in. See, I'm telling you, there's nothing you can't fix with something else. You just have to have your ideas open. Okay, so now what I want to do is just put a little land in the background. And I'm going to use a little bit Everglade. And it's going to be kind of close. So I'm just going to dance that around. A day at the beach. Kind of reminding me of the Salem Willows, maybe. Actually, I'm going to use the opaque matte paste first because I want to get some really light on that wave. And I'm using whatever I see on the paper. Now, I'm seeing a wave right here, so I'm just going to use a little of that there. Now, you can thin this down with water. So I'm going to get my water. And I'm going to get a crummy brush. Get a little water going. Get some of this opaque matte. Put that on the side, and now I'm going to cover this because it does dry out quite quickly. I'm going to use my water to thin it out so I can get a little more control. See how you can break it down a little bit. There he goes. And now I can texturize a little more. Now, some people use glue for this technique. I think the texture paste is nice. Something else that we can use. That's all that is. It's another tool. But look at how that's bubbles up a bit and it gives you a lot more dimension. Now remember, when you're painting and it's a beautiful sky and a beautiful beach, you got to decide what's important. It's not either the sky or it's the beach. And in this case, it's going to be the wave crashing. And I'm going to put another wave coming over here. And I kind of like the idea of putting a little bit down and then getting a toothpick and get that feeling of wave. And I can get those little crumblets right in the side there of the wave splashing, the little splashes. They're beautiful. Now I can come back and darken underneath these if I want. It's just a matter of what I want. And I don't usually know what I want till I get there. Let's put another wave here. Tapping on it. Sometimes I want it thicker because it's rolling up onto the shore. And let's give it another layer. And I want this crashing down this way, so I want a nice clump right there. See how you can push it and pull it where you want. And let's see, I like this coming over. Look at this beautiful beach line right here. Get a little water, put it right into this. I want that right up on the shore, and now I'm going to pull it out. Do you see how you get the texture just like as if it's lapping up on the beach? Look at that. That's lovely. So you know when it's good. If you talk to yourself, you'll know when it's good because your body is going to tell you, wow, that's really good. Let's put one back here. I'm using a little water. pulling that piece out here. Remember, this is a wave. It's wherever it wants to be. So don't be trying to get perfect. There, I think that looks nice. And I want a little bit more. I want this to be like as if it's rushing up onto the shore. So I want a bit here. So I'm going to put the whole load on this and see what happens when I go like that. And it's pretty good. Now I got to turn it. Because I want it to go in a direction. Okay, now I got to turn it again. And it grabs quite well. You just got to be patient. Maybe another little bit here, but this is going to be real skinny. There, that's all I want, just a touch. And I can almost see sand here, so I'm going to go back and make some sand. This is my big wave coming out in the background. And they kind of get smaller as they come up on shore. So I can goof around with that one a little bit more. I want to put one right over here. There we go. Here's a big wave coming in. Now, being that this is white, I don't really have to add much color. Put another one, bringing it over a little more. More right there, just a little. But I don't want this as, like I say, as big and bold as the other one. So I'm gonna kind of bring it out a little thinner and whack it down a little bit. Getting some more water to mess with this right on the paper. Because of time and fooling around, I'm not gonna overwork it. The waves come in waves. Now that's really smart. And it's bubbling up. Take the time to really do it. I think it makes a nice effect. I'm gonna pull some. That looks pretty nice. I can almost see a seagull coming right here. A bigger one. And all I'm doing is using alcohol to lift off. Now I'm going to take a little of that blue and give them a little dimension. Because under the wings will be a little bit darker. Wiping out my brush and lightening the side a little bit because he's getting reflected light from underneath, and a little bit here. I'm going to paste them up so I don't need too much detail. Do this a little bit more. But this time I'm going to use some of the transparent paste because I want to mix it with this opaque paste. It's a little more gel-like, and I can control where it goes a little bit more. You can see it looks like gel. Again, it dries quickly, so cover it up. Mix it up. Very patient with this process. I could also use a palette knife doing this. Just turn it. I do want his wings coming out properly, so Like I say, I'd be patient. And this could be a little bit thicker here. I think I like it. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So I'm coming in from the waves, coming into him, and then this is all kind of flat. So I might put a little texture here. Not much. All right, that looks good. And if you're so inclined, like I am, I'm gonna make this little cloud a little more important. Not much, but I'm gonna give it a little texture. And put a little bit more texture on the front of this bird, or soften them in. There we go, that looks better. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into painting a little bit more. Going into my glacier, and I'm gonna put a little dark under here, just little top touches. I'm just touching the bottom, just to bring the wave out a little bit more. See that? How beautiful is that? And this is where you can start really creating a little bit more depth as well with what you're seeing. And you can come back and do this as many times as you want. I don't want too much in here. I want a little bit, but not much. I don't want any heavy lines, so I'll soften that out. Softening any dark spots I don't want. There we go. See how beautiful? You can go back and forth forever. So this pops out a little bit more. Putting alcohol on here and letting it run and be a little more natural rather than being perfect. I don't want to be perfect, but I know that it is darker closer. I'm going to turn this and lighter further away so I can see where I need to be darker. It's easier if I don't look at it as what it is, but as what it needs to be. So I'm going to put little dots of light in there. Needs to be a little darker back here. Needs to be darker back there. I can always lighten if I have to, right? Less and less on my brush as I go back. Look how awesome this is. Just softening. Just using alcohol. You want to use more alcohol, you are allowed. And blot. That helps lift a little light back in. Get that curl of that wave. Sometimes I can even, I'm going to try a little blending solution. See how that works. So if you want to lighten things back up, the blending solution is very strong and it works pretty nice at lightening some of the nodules you might have wanted a little lighter. And a little darker back here. So it's nice having some texture, but not everything textured because it looks a little more realistic. Because some of the waves are not that high and some are. But remember, I need people to look here. So I'm really working hard on this area, but this area I'm just kind of like, make it look pretty. Well, I think you get the idea on how to use the modeling paste and give it a shot and post what you do with this idea. So enjoy, and I hope you try this mixed media project.